another preview, and I think this is before that one. This would have been the 1983 Amazing Heroes preview. It's not credited to Heidi MacDonald, so I think they weren't really that interested in what Dave Sim was doing even back then. Aardvark Vanaheim, you'll notice the Aardvark has 2 A's at the beginning and 2 A's at the end. Neil the Horse has been so successful that the miniseries has been extended from 6 to 8 issues. Creator Arn Saba will produce a 48-page extravaganza in the extra issue. And that was definitely 1982, 1983 time period, because Arn had just finished Neil the Horse #1 when we were in Los Angeles on the 1982 tour. David Sim and Bill Sienkiewicz, David Sim, not Dave Sim, produced a Moon Roach story at Rochester's All-Star Convention, and it will appear later this year in Swords of Cerebus Volume 5. And you're asking, where's this Moon Roach story? If Bill and I talked about a Moon Roach story, and it's very possible that, yes, we went out for dinner or went back to one of our hotel rooms or both and just started throwing ideas around about a Moon Roach story that Bill would be interested in drawing and that he and I would write, or he and I would draw. I was definitely interested in trying to ink Bill Sienkiewicz. Bill is his own creative force of nature, which I didn't know at the time. This is something that we know from the experience of Elektra Assassin and the Bill Sienkiewicz story that he did for the Sandman hardcover with Neil Gaiman. If you give Bill a script or an outline for a story, Bill is, as a capital A artist, just going to do what Bill's going to do. You will get back something completely unrecognizable, but brilliant. Frank Miller was terrifically impressed that Neil Gaiman got his story back from Bill Sienkiewicz and just started rearranging the pages, going, well, this is lovely, but maybe if I put this page first and this page over here, I can get back to sort of my story. And I think it was Frank who said, if I'd have thought of that, Elektra Assassin would have come out very, very differently. Just, here's a pile of pages, let's rearrange these and try and turn it back into something between me and Bill. And none of us had any idea of that at the time, and certainly I had no idea of that. And I think Bill went, I'm just not seeing what I would do on this. This is not hitting my capital A artist bone anywhere that I would go, okay, I will start drawing this, and then I'll do 6 pages or 8 pages or whatever it is, and then send them to Dave. Whatever we did at Rochester's All-Star Convention, it never got any further than that. But there is a Bill Sienkiewicz jam story that I'm now going to tell you as we're definitely coming up on hour number 2. There was a jam story that I started at PetuniaCon. One of the things that I was very insistent with the PetuniaCon people was we all come to these conventions and we're all just sitting at ordinary dealer's tables with ordinary chairs, and we have to bring our sketch pads and our markers and our pencils and whatever we're not really doing what we do for a living, because none of us draw with markers, and none of us draw on sketch pads and on individual sheets of paper and in other people's sketchbooks. We have a drawing board, and we have pencils and brushes and pens and ink. So I managed to persuade them to set up a drawing board with all of the drawing materials that I use and that people generally use. Different thicknesses of brushes, different size pens, different kinds of pens, black ink, India ink, a jar of water so that you can clean all of that stuff while you're working, and tissues to wipe it off on. Here's all of the stuff we need to do actual artwork. And I sat down to do the first panel. And I was working on the first panel, and I remember Denny came by. We weren't together at that point, but we were both at the convention, and very, very upset because whoever the woman was who was running the convention had just gotten into a screaming argument with Joshua Quagmire, who does Cutie Bunny. And Denny was saying, "Mr. President, you have to come and fix this." And it's like, I'm not Mr. President right now. I'm the guy writing, who draws comics for a living. I'm finally at a convention, and I'm going to be able to do a jam story where I'm doing the first panel. Tell them I'll be there as soon as I'm finished drawing this panel. And nothing really happened with the crisis. It's like she wanted to have Joshua Quagmire thrown out and charged with a city offense for swearing at her. And it was like, no, this is more important to me. And I forget who went next on the page, but it's like, okay, now you see what I'm doing. I did the first panel. Now you do the next panel and do it like you're actually drawing a comic book story. I seem to remember that the next person was Bill Sienkiewicz. And he did either one panel or two panels, definitely following up on exactly what I was doing. It's like, okay, what is the second panel in the story? What is the third panel in the story? I'm the one who decides it. I'm going to letter it just as if I was lettering a professional page. I'm going to pencil and ink it just like I did. I'm doing a professional page. Really nice couple of panels. I came by and kept checking on it, see how he was doing. It's like, oh, this is going to be so cool. This is something that I've always wanted to do at a convention, and it's actually happening. Building on my first panel. The next person to sit down to do it was Jim Valentino. And Jim Valentino screwed it up. Jim Valentino did a fourth panel or a fifth panel and a sixth panel that obviously he sat down, glanced at my panel, glanced at Bill Loeb's panels, and said, oh, okay, this is the next thing. Completely misunderstanding what I had done and what Bill had done. So the whole thing that I was trying to do, which was completely organized comic book story, is now screwed up. And he did it like really, really quick. And if he didn't use markers, he used the drawing materials as if they were markers. And it's like I went, I can't believe this. How could you not understand, looking at what I did and looking at what Bill Loeb's did, what you were expected to do next? But it's all free. It's just an experiment. So okay, I had no idea that this was going to happen. And Bill Sienkiewicz was a guest at that convention, and I'm showing Bill what happened, and saying, like, I'm really pissed off because now I don't know what's going to happen next. And Bill went, I'll tell you what, just leave it with me. I'll do the next couple of panels. And I completely forget the story. Like, I have no idea what it was we were doing. But Bill Sienkiewicz sat down did the most amazing 2 panels, not only fixing Jim Valentino's mistake, but getting it back to the original plot line, and all rendered as if it was, Neil Adams doing Stan Drake, doing Alex Raymond, and just this immaculate piece of work. And it's like I was awe-stricken at the fact that he understood exactly what the problem was and went, okay, I can't undo Valentino's panel, but here's the best that I can do. And it's like, oh man, we are off to the races again. And whoever did the next panel is obviously going, wow, I've really got to, I got to live up to Bill Sienkiewicz now. And Bill Sienkiewicz doing his absolute best stuff. So they did that. And then that's about as far as we got with it. And I went, okay, Arn Saba, do you want to do the next one? And it's like, yeah, sure. And I said, okay, I'll tell you what, convention is closing down. You take these pages back with you, and you do either another panel or another 2 panels, picking up from wherever it left off. And that was when Arn was just down in Toronto. Didn't get down to see Arn in Toronto for maybe 3 or 4 months after that. And going to visit Arn, and I went, did you do your jam pen? And he said, what jam pen? And I said, the jam panel, I sent you back with the story that had Bill Sienkiewicz's panel, my panel, Bill Loeb's panel, Jim Valentino's panel. You were supposed to do the next one. And he said, oh yeah, I couldn't figure out what to do with that. So I gave it to somebody. And it's like I'm going, I can't believe this. I mean, I realize nobody's ever done this before. And it took me like another 15 years to even try it again. Because it's like, look, obviously this is just not computing with a certain cartooning mind. And this is just the sort of weird crap that's going to happen with this. And I'm going, I can't believe that Arn thought, okay, I have no idea what to do with this. So, I just gave it to somebody. I forget who I gave it to, but somebody was interested in it, so I gave it to them. And it's like those gorgeous Bill Sienkiewicz panels. And I'm thinking, Bill's got to be going, well, whatever happened with that? I really busted my hump to fix that problem. Well, if Bill ever finds out